Remove the two 18mm bolts, they look like that. Pry your caliper bracket off. It's usually stuck on the pads. Pads, as always, are unevenly worn. Most likely because the pads get stuck inside the caliper bracket. And next, you want to remove the rotor. It has a Torx bit bolt right there that holds the rotor on from the factory, and you need to remove that. 2014 GMC Sierra 1500 4-wheel drive, rear brake pads and rotors. You want to jack it up, support it properly, remove the rear tires 7/8, and then you want to remove the caliper bolts or 13s. There's two of them. One here and one there. If you're going to use an impact, use an extension with a 13 swivel on it to clear the spring. And get your little screwdriver, pry the caliper out, and then you can get access to your caliper bracket bolts that are in the back also. Okay, the caliper brackets were an 18mm. There's two of them. Take them out. And somebody pad slapped this at one time, and these are original rotors. They're pretty gone on the inside, unevenly, all rusted. But I want to show you. See the piston? Got a nice groove in it. These are got a little coating over them, like a little shield over the piston. And that's just ripped right off right there. It's because of this little tit right here. They got this pad supposed to be on the other side, not on this side. Because on this side, it's smooth. And that one's supposed to be on the inside, and this one's supposed to be on the outside. And there's my squeak indicator. I always put them on the inside. So watch when you're going together, anytime you do a brake job, make sure you keep an eye out for stupid stuff like that. All right, so now here we go. We gotta remove the rotor. Got these retainers on there for the factory. We'll cut them off. After the rotor's frozen on there, we'll hit it with a sledgehammer, bust it loose. And then we'll inspect the hub, the axle. Make sure it's nice and clean. Clean it up. And then we'll clean up our caliper bracket. Right inside here, we'll take the pads out, take the hardware out, and clean up inside there. Make sure it's no rust is on it, and we'll put some paint on it. And make sure our slide pins are free. And put some Sil Glide on those. All right. That rotor was on there. I used some penetrant to get it loose. And it came loose. Okay. Inspect your parking brake shoes. Make sure they're not separating from the backing plates. Okay, if they are, replace them. If you don't use your parking brake, don't worry about it. All right, now you need to get this axle cleaned up. It's gotta be nice and smooth, no lumps, no rust spots. So clean it up best you can without removing any metal, but make sure it's all nice and true and clean. Okay. Once that's nice and true and clean, you're gonna put some anti-seize on it before you put the rotor back on. Okay. All right, clean up the axle best you can. Make sure there's no lumps sticking up anywhere. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Clean up your caliper bracket. Get up inside there, get all the rust out of there. The caliper slide pins, pull them out, clean them up, and put some new Sil Glide on them. And I'm gonna paint them surfaces where the hardware go. All right, axle's cleaned. Put anti-seize on it. Got my caliper bracket all ready. Got my pads in there. Remember those little tits? They go on the outside. And my squeaker will go towards the rotation of the rotor. So it should be on the top of this one, which it is. So that's going to go in there like that after I put my rotor on. All right, rear caliper brackets on. Snug up your bolts. These are 18mm ones, and tighten them to torque them to 75 foot-pounds. And you got your outer pad with the tits on it, and your inner pad that's smooth. And the indicator, squeak indicator, goes on the top towards the direction of the rotor. And now I'll have to push the piston in, and then we'll put that on, and then we'll tighten the caliper bolts to 35 foot-pounds. Use a C-clamp with your old brake pad, push it in with. I don't know if you can see on these pads, but unevenly wearing. There's wearing here, but no wear on there, because it's more rusty on that side, over here. So you gotta get them pads on there properly, otherwise they're gonna wear and seat in properly. Okay, as you're putting the caliper on, you need to squeeze the pads in because they're spring loaded because of the hardware. And then you have to push the little pins in so you can get your caliper over them. And then get your bolts in there, hand start them, tighten them up, and then torque them to 35 foot-pounds. Make sure your line is not twisted, make sure it's nice and straight like that. Looks good, and that's it. And just do the other side the same way, and you'll be done. And I'm done. So then now all you gotta do is put your tires on and torque the wheel studs, the lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds. And go inside the vehicle and pump your brake pedal. Make sure you got a good brake pedal before you put it in drive or reverse, because you don't want to be driving through your garage door or through the other end of your garage, or run over somebody. But anyway, and then check your fluid levels and clean off your reservoir cap and make sure you put it back on, and you're all set. If I helped you out with this video, that's awesome. If you can help me out, subscribe to me. If you already subscribed, I thank you.